Hello and welcome to another lesson, Managing Server 2003. Today I want to talk to you about a little bit about user profiles, and we're going to start by looking at where user profiles are stored and the common folders associated with them. And we'll begin by looking at a client, for example, to Server 2003, Windows XP client. It's a little simpler to begin there because the number of files associated with a profile are smaller and therefore a little easier to grasp. So looking at the screen here, we'll go ahead and open, for example, Bart Simpson, who's a user and has a profile on this local computer, along with Marge and Homer, who's the administrator. So we'll log in Bart Simpson. No password has been set, but anyway, here's Bart Simpson's computer environment, his desktop environment. He has an icon up here, Win Media Player, and he likes this particular background. Now, where those files are located, if you click Start and then go to My Computer and Local Disk C, Documents and Settings, you'll find the users that are currently established on this computer. Here we have Marge, Homer, Bart, and all users and the administrator. Now, all users is actually it's a folder that's extends the user environment, and it can include shortcuts in the desktop or start menu, network places, and even application data. Elements of the all users profile are contained or combined rather with the user profile to create the user environment. By default, only members of the administration group can modify the all users profile. So all users is shared. It's an extension of each one of these individual ones, and they all have access to it. It's a way that the administrator can add particular programs that he wants everybody to, for example, to have access to. Anyway, it'll show desktop favorites and shared documents. The start menu, it always has those four elements. Now, if we look at Bart Simpson's, these again are going to be the basic folders associated with his profile. He'll have a My Documents folder, a start menu, favorites and cookies, which will be associated with his Internet Explorer browser, and desktop. If we open desktop, we see that it contains one icon, which we saw on his desktop. Okay, that's kind of a basic of what is in a profile. For example, on an XP, a real basic description here. Things will change as you adjust and change your working environment with your computer. When you log off, these files that you've changed, for example, will be saved. So if we click log off, we see logging off and then saving your settings. So your desktop settings configuration will be saved. Now, if we go ahead and go over to Server 2003 and we look at profile under 2003, you'll notice that it's quite a bit different. Let me see if I can find it here. Well, we'll look at this, for example. This discusses a local profile on Server 2003, and there's two interesting files here. One called ntuser.dat, which you will see in a 2003 user profile. The administrator can use that to create something called a mandatory profile. He'll change the .dat extension to a .man for mandatory, and that way he can maintain consistency in user profiles across the spectrum. Anybody who changes their desktop environment, those changes will not be saved when they log off. Okay, so noticing the different folders and stuff that are present in a server environment, for example, network, NetHood and PrintHood, these are for network printers and network servers. Let's go ahead and open the area where we can look at We open My Computer, and again open Documents and Setting under C drive. We'll see here again our the area in which the user profiles are stored. Now I don't have any users per se like the Simpsons on the XP, but if we look at a default user, this is where everybody starts. And if you recall just the screenshot before, we had NetHood and PrintHood. Well, here they are here. And so you can see that there's quite a bit more to a profile on a server because, obviously there's networking and other things involved, but then you also have your desktop and favorites and cookies, which of course are associated with the Internet Explorer. So, and then there's your ntuser.dat. Anyway, so that's kind of a brief exposure to server and client user profiles. So thank you for listening to another lesson in managing Server 2003.